This is Project CB News, where the truth matters.
Welcome to the segment, and it's entertainment news galore. This is Project CB News, and this is Lindi Tshabangu reporting about a sneak preview that I saw. It is of a beautiful show directed by Peter Flynn called Calling Us Home. This is an amazing show which will be premiering from the 15th of February, which is Wednesday, the 15th of February, running to Sunday, the 19th of February, 2023, taking place at the Cape Town Artscape Theatre. And I promise you, some of the shows have already been booked. So you need to make sure that you vickle in order to get yours. Some of the shows have already been fully booked, but I promise you the conversation that I'm going to have with Alejandro Michel Alejandro Castillo is absolutely fun. And he is such a dynamic young man that he tells you that the cast that is there is truly inspirational. He is all the way across the Atlantic, and he is going to be sharing a little bit about himself, but more importantly, about calling us home. I mean, I've just seen a bit of, like I said, a sneak preview, and calling us home is such a gripping story that tells about, love from humble beginnings, and it's gripping, and it's got, basic human issues that we actually deal with, such as the refugee issues, and challenges facing us women on a day-to-day basis. But there is so much passion, there's so much empathy, there's so much drama that goes in there, and it's just so beautifully crafted, and the artists themselves really, they took it on as if it's their daily lives, and it is such a gripping story. If you are in Cape Town, or if you are flying to Cape Town, just book yourself there. Just give yourself a Valentine's month or a lovers month present and go and see Calling Us Home. Well, right here on Project CB News, we bring you a bit of what happens.
Michel Alejandro Castillo. Sounds so romantic, just like the play we're going to be talking about. Give us a little bit of background about who you are, where we come from.
Great. Well, I'm from San Diego, California. So that's where I grew up in my earlier years of childhood up until about high school. And then I moved to Portland, Oregon. From there, that's where I started high school. And then I lived there until I was about 21, I believe, 21. Yeah, around there. Or whenever COVID happened. I was there up until the pandemic. And then I moved to New York City in the middle of the pandemic.
Oh, my word.
When there was nothing going on. I know, it was crazy when there was nothing going on. And yeah, I've been a New Yorker ever since. I know people in New York are going to say I'm not a New Yorker until after 10 years, but I moved there during COVID. I've been there through it all, I feel like, so far. So, we're there. And now I'm here.
So now you're in South Africa because of love for theater. How did that bug bite you? How did you come across theater?
Well, it's actually a really funny story, and I feel like they're all the same, but this truly, I think, is hilarious. I was a soccer player my whole life. I mean, I still am. I still play whenever I can, but that was my focus in life. I was completely a soccer player, and it was the end of the season for me, and it was during the winter in Portland, and I was in math class, and I had taken a couple of drama classes here and there because of my stepmom. She was like, hey, I think you'd be really good at this, so on and so forth. I think you'd enjoy it. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And I kind of just would skip that class all the time. And there was this pretty girl that sat next to me in math. And she was like, hey, I'm going to audition for the winter play. Are you? And I was like, absolutely not. And I was like, I'm not. talking about? I'm not going to do that. And then she was like, well, I'm going to do it. You should do it. And I was like, absolutely. I'm there. Let's do it. So I end up showing up to the audition and she doesn't show up.
Oh, no.
She leaves me high and dry. So my drama teacher looks at me, honestly, quite shocked that I'm there to begin with.
Yeah.
But, I was like, all right, well, I'll see you later. And he's like, well, like, you're already here. You might as well do it. And I did it. And I was like, okay, well, if I do this, I want the smallest role with the fewest amount of lines. Like, I don't want to, it ever since. And I knew when I left that this is what I should be doing for the rest of my life. So I was one of the very fortunate people in life who knew what they wanted to do at a younger age.
And what happened, girl?
Say that one more time.
I said, what happened to the girl that you fell in love with that ditched you?
I don't know. She left me. She's not doing this. I'll tell you that. She became a lawyer or something. So,
okay, so let's talk about the play. What play are you currently working on now, and where is it going to be held? And just give us a little bit of background. Who is in the play? What's the play all about?
Sure. So right now I'm doing I think it's a world premiere. I mean, technically not, but this rendition of the show is completely new. So I'm going to say it's a world premiere of Calling Us Home here in Cape Town at the Artscape Theater. And it's a beautiful, beautiful show written by Alice Gillum and directed by Peter Flynn as well. Peter Flynn is a very renowned director in New York City as well. So the production company, decided to bring us out here and, elevate the show in whatever way possible, or, try to explore different avenues. And, it's been such a blessing because to be able to work on this show has just opened my eyes to so many different things. The talent pool here in South Africa, the artscape is beautiful. And just the love story. It's between two characters named Grace and Rafael, and I happen to play Rafael, and Grace is played by Devanisha Swartz, and she's just a light. She's amazing to be within the room, and she just gives you so much as a performer. So it's really easy to play across Devanisha. And the actress playing my sister, her name is Monica Ramirez, and she also is from New York City as well. So 3 of us New Yorkers here coming to Cape Town. And it's been a wonderful experience through and through. And to answer your question about what the show is about, it's about this character, Grace, who leaves her town or village in Africa because of a war, and her brother sends her to America. And without giving too much away, she kind of falls into some unexpected, traps, and she meets some people and meets some influential people in her life, and she's able to influence other people in their lives as well. And it's going to be a beautiful evening of theater. You get to laugh, cry, feel loss. This show really goes through all the emotions, and this cast is so connected and so in tune. And it's kind of a masterclass watching from my perspective sometimes of the cast and the quality that we have here. So I cannot wait for Cape Town to see this, because it's been completely different. And the people that I know who in this cast who were in the other renditions of the musical, this is 360. It's completely different views. Peter's had different ideas of the show, and we're very connected on the story that we're trying to tell. And for anybody here in South Africa who knows of the show Come From Away, that was on Broadway for quite a while, and Les Mis, we always say it's kind of like if Les Mis and Come From Away had a baby. This is what Calling Us Home, our rendition of Calling Us Home, is. here at the Artscape Theater. So it's going to be fantastic. And it runs the 15th through the 19th. And the Saturday performance is already completely sold out.
Wow.
So people want to get, I know we're sold out. We haven't even gone into tech yet. So people are going to get their tickets. This is going to be special, a truly special production.
So it's the 15th of February to the 19th, except that the Saturday is completely sold out. So people must hurry and get their tickets for the other days, right?
Correct. Yes.
So we're talking about love, we're talking about tragedy, we're talking about drama to the 12th degree. So this is absolutely suspense in its entirety. So people are there to actually get not only entertained, but to get gripped by a story that has got a moral lining.
That, let me show you this, let me show you that. And it's been beautiful. I think the last week it was 2 weeks ago, I believe. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. Sure, let's just say 2 weeks ago. I was able to hike up Lion's Head with a couple of cast members. And I put on sunscreen before I went on the hike and I didn't reapply. And I got to the top and, taking pictures and whatnot. And by the time I got down, I was like, all right, I'm feeling a little warm, but all right, we'll keep it going. That evening, full on fever, chills. My body I looked like a lobster.
Oh, and
I was like a week. So I learned very quick to apply sunscreen as much as I can on hikes.
Now you understand why we can't do the cold.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. I'm from San Diego. I don't like the cold either. No, so jokes aside, I mean I did get pretty badly sunburned, but it was such a beautiful hike. And then I was able to do another hike somewhere near a waterfall that was really nice. I can't remember the name of it. And just like going around, like I'm going to do Table Mountain, I think, here in the next couple of days. And, just trying to eat food and eat good food. I went to Camps Bay at this place called Mantra Cafe. And that was amazing. And they're not paying me to say that. So that's how you know it's amazing. It was some really good food. And just the beach. Like I said, I'm a San Diego boy. I'm a Southern California. So anytime I have an excuse to go. I wish. I haven't surfed in a really, really long time. But the water here is freezing. That's another thing that I've learned.
Absolutely.
It's freezing. But I love it. I love it so much. It's been everything and more that I've wanted. I mean, we spent a lot of time here in rehearsal, but the times that I've been able to go out, it's just an explosion of energy and just life. I think for me, that's what I wanted to experience when I came out here, was not only to do the show, but just to experience a different culture and, really feel at home. And the people here, my castmates, really have made me feel like one of them and feel like this is a place that I can call home for the rest of my life. So it's been amazing.
That's what South Africa is well known for. Now, Michelle, let's talk about you as because now you are an entrepreneur in your own field because of the arts. What challenges have you come across in your field? Because it's very difficult for a young individual to actually get a break, as you call it, in your industry. How has the journey been for you?
That's a great question. Yeah, I mean, it's been difficult in the sense of, I don't think there's any other business or career type where you deal with so much rejection, and the rejection most of the time, in my opinion, doesn't have to do with talent. It has to do with the intangibles, right? Like the things that you can't control. So as far as like for TV and film or even on stage, it's, you may be the right talent, but if you're too tall for the person that's playing with you, or you're not tall enough, like you can't do anything about that. And of course they don't tell you that. They just tell you that you didn't get it, or sometimes you just don't hear back. And I think that probably the toughest, but my advice to people moving forward is the quicker that you learn that it's not as personal as you think it is, the better off you'll be in life, with auditioning. And I actually enjoy auditioning. It's the little bit of time that you get to show them who you are. And I try not to go in. I mean, everyone goes in a little nervous, but I try not to go in nervous and robotic. I just try to be me, say, hi, how's it going? Look them in the eye and ask them how their day is going. They're humans too. You know what I mean? Like they're just auditioning you, and I just try to have fun ultimately. And because a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, Jason Canela, who I did a show with back in the States, he said something that was beautiful that I heard on one of his podcasts was, everyone is so focused on being a quote unquote working actor, right? Auditioning and doing the prep work, doing your training, that's what being a working actor means. Like for example, like getting the job and being able to come to South Africa, like that's a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Within your hard work and within, your training.
Yeah.
And so I for granted at all. In fact, I'm overjoyed. I may not always show it all the time, because with this show, I'm very focused and like if you're working in a business, or you're working at a store or whatever, they're like a 9 to 5. Like I used to work at a car dealership. Like, yeah, you have your monthly, totals, but like there's months that you have good months and bad months, just like everything else. And, but with auditioning or with performing, like you do one job and then you have to prove your worth all over again to get the next job, and then again to get the next job. And so you're just always in a constant state of trying
you have to prove that you're better than your last performance.
Yeah, and hopefully you should be. I think, especially, I mean, I live by this with my career so far, and, other people maybe have different opinions, but I don't really typically audition for things or do things that I've always had a rule of, like, if I wouldn't go see that show, I'm not going to really audition for it. I mean, there's other factors involved, but I think you really have to care about the project that you're working on, because you're going to be on it for a while, especially with this show. Like when I read the script, like I was hooked immediately. There was so much, like you said, drama, there was love, there was tragedy, there was, the story just grabs you, and it's kind of like an arrow, like shooting an arrow. Like it pulls you all the way back in act one and ends that tension, and then act two, you release it and it just goes. And that drive. And Peter has done a masterful just direction of this show. Like I've seen clips of previous shows and they look stunning as well. And I hope that all those people who saw the show previously will come back to see this, because this is going to be something so different that they've seen. And Peter's one-of-a-kind direction is an explosion of talent all over the stage.
So in conclusion, what would be your shout out to the people out there listening to you right now?
I shout out to all of you. I hope you get to come see the show. It's going to be a wonderful night of theater. It's just, for me, theater is a place where you can go and just escape life for a couple of hours. However great things are going or hard things are going, like whatever hardships you have in your life, like you can go to the theater and just experience the story and just be taken away from the outside world. And I think anyone can benefit from coming to see a live theatrical performance. So shout out to all of you, everyone who's listening to this. If you've met me while you've been here, thank you so much. You guys have been all very hospitable, and it's just been such a blessing to be here. And I can't thank everyone here enough, my castmates included, because I know they'll be listening to this. So my castmates included, it's been such a blessing. And to the creative team, and to Alice and the producers, and just everyone at the Artscape Theater, just everyone who's been incredible from the day that I landed here. And to all the people out there, please come and see the show. You can't come on Saturday because it's sold out. So that should tell you right there that you got to get your tickets. So please come and say hi afterwards, and let's have a chat and come explore and have a great night of theater. Calling Us Home 2023 is going to be one for the books. And I can say that with my whole heart.
And that's how we wrap up our conversation with Michel Alejandro Castillo. And thank you so much for joining us and for teaching me a bit of Spanish. At least it's not too far away from Portuguese. So, yeah.
Not. My classmate speaks Portuguese, so we speak a little bit of Spanish here and there. So it is close.
So have a blessed one, and good luck for the season of Calling Us Home.
Thank you, Lindy. It's been a pleasure.
This brings us to the end of our show. Go to our website to uncover more stories at projectcb.online.